Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Members, we have 18 hours, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds left before the end of the legislative session. Have before you today the third time that the legislature will be sending the governor a balanced budget. Third time. To Minnesotans, to those that are fast asleep at home, who may one day see what we did here, I ask, what more can we do as a legislature? What more can we do? Last year, when our charge was to balance the budget, we showed leadership and put a balanced budget on the governor's desk, which he vetoed. We came back this year again with a balanced budget, with a balanced approach, put it on his desk, and he vetoed it. Now I stand before you today, the last day of the legislative session, with a bill that is virtually exactly what the governor wants. There's no tax increase in this bill. It cuts almost $1 billion. We've cut hundreds of millions of dollars this year. We cut $3 billion over the past few years. Devastating cuts to families all over the state of Minnesota. Yet it's not enough for this governor. What more can we do? This legislature has worked very hard. This bill protects our schools. There is not a cut to education in this bill. We are going to repay the governor's borrowing. There is not a cut to nursing homes in this bill. We keep that as a top priority for this state. There are difficult cuts in this bill, though. Very difficult cuts. But members of the DFL, and hopefully some Republicans, will show some leadership, show some backbone, and join us in making these hard choices. There is a piece in here about health care, and I want my friends, especially from rural Minnesota, to listen closely, because Representative Zeller has talked a lot about this reform in GAMC and how it'd be a shame to waste this reform. What Representative Zeller's failed to mention is the way the governor negotiated the reform fenced out rural Minnesota. We saw no benefit from that reform. Representative Zellers is right. It hasn't started yet, and that's a good thing, because we can fix that. If you're from Fergus Falls or Moorhead, if you're from St. Cloud or Rochester, if you're from Duluth or Hibbing, this bill is great for your hospitals and your doctors. This bill is great for the people that live in your community, because your hospitals will get the resources they deserve for the treatment they give our patients. It's simple math. It's not Democrat or Republican. It's not the talking points of Obamacare or Tea Party. It's about our federal tax dollars, the dollars Minnesotans pay out to Washington. You know what we're ranked? Every dollar we put in to our federal government, we get 72 cents back. We're ranked 46th in the nation. That should make us all upset. That should make Minnesotans upset. But this is our chance. When we put up $1, we get $7 back from our federal government. $1.4 billion in this bill of our federal tax dollars coming back to the state of Minnesota, to our hospitals, to our doctors, to bend that cost curve for health insurance, to save 21,000 jobs, to ensure 100,000 more Minnesotans. That's a great thing in this bill, but that's what's holding up the negotiations. The governor doesn't want to go there. He's getting all the cuts he wants. It's going to cause a lot of damage in this state, but it's tough economic times, and we're doing what we can to minimize the pain. What more can we do? I don't know. When I stood before you earlier this week, when we sent the second budget balancing bill to the governor, that solution was about 85% of what the governor wants. We're well over 90 now. So for all the rhetoric of, you know what we should do this year? We should cut. We should cut government. If you believe in that, this is your bill. But if you believe in our kids, in nursing homes, in making sure we have viable hospitals in our communities, making sure the state doesn't go bankrupt. If you care about jobs in the state of Minnesota, you should vote for this bill too. We're in the last day of session. There's not much more we can do. I would hope the governor would see the wisdom that he did with the pension bill, members. The governor railed on the pension bill for quite a while, and the members of the Pension Commission and all of us as a body made some tough decisions in that bill and sent it to the governor's desk. He threatened a veto, but at 11:42 last night, he weighed his options, and he decided to sign that bill because it's in the best interest of the state of Minnesota. We could be done with session right now if we join hands across the aisle and put up votes for this bill, because that's what the governor has asked. He's asked for something that no other governor has asked for before. In essence, he said, we need a supermajority of the legislature to pass this bill, Democrats and Republicans. If we showed him that right now, and the Senate showed him that right now, we'd be done with session. There would be no need for a special session, no need for the horrible calamity of a government shutdown or anything else that's being predicted because of our bad cash situation. We have it within us today, right now, at this moment, to end the legislative session, to pass the governor a balanced budget yet again and end the session. And to those of you that are looking at me from the other side of the aisle, it doesn't get any easier later on today when we come back, and it certainly wouldn't get any easier next week or next month. Our choices get worse. The decisions are worse. This is the best bill we're going to have a chance to vote for this week. This is the best bill we'll have a chance to vote for today. Many of you are concerned about the politics of this bill, especially in the healthcare area. I've heard Obamacare thrown around. Well, I want everybody to be crystal clear about the healthcare that's in this bill. There are many controversial provisions of the national healthcare reform that is passed, but it's not what's in this bill, members. What's in this bill is a good deal for Minnesota. Voting against this bill is turning down Minnesotans' taxpayer dollars that we send to Washington, D.C., that should come home to Minnesota. Voting against this bill is voting against 21,000 jobs in the state of Minnesota. And for my rural friends, again, you're not going to get a better deal for your hospitals. You all know it. You all know that GAMC fix, that GAMC reform was not good for our communities. We get $0 at our hospitals. You've heard from them. I know you have. This bill fixes that. So on home, members, in these tough economic times, we are making the hard decisions with a no tax increase bill that is right up the governor's alley. But we maintain our commitments to our kids, our nursing homes, our middle-class Minnesotans. This bill is about jobs, and it puts a dent into that deficit into the future. Members, please vote for this bill.